Greetings, YouTube. The doctor is in. Dr. Urias Papers here, coming at you with another commentary on Dungeons and Dragons. And welcome back to the channel that takes power gaming to the next level. Today on the Doctor Spell Prognosis, we are talking about one of my more favorite spells, Power Word Stun. But first, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. If you like this video, hit the like button. If you have any questions or comments, please leave a question or a comment. And don't forget to hit that notification bell so you know when I've got another video out. All right, Power Word Stun is an 8th level spell. We're getting close to the end, folks. That is usable by bards, sorcerers, warlocks, and wizards. So warlocks will have to pick this up with Arcanum Mysterium. Takes one action. Fantastic. Range of 60 feet. That's a pretty good range. Verbal component, awesome. You speak a word of power that can overwhelm the mind of one creature you can see within range, leaving it dumbfounded. If the target has 150 hit points or fewer, it is stunned. Otherwise, the spell has no effect. So you need to be very cognizant of that fact. The stunned target must make a Constitution saving throw at the end of each of its turns. On a successful save, this stunning effect ends. Be conscious of that as well. We are giving this spell an S. It is a combat ender. If not in the first round, probably in the second round of combat. And remember, most combat in Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition only lasts for about maybe 3 or 4 rounds. 5 rounds at the most. So we'll say 3 to 5 rounds. Somewhere in there. If you can get this spell off, it's over. Especially at this level where the characters are, where they're all at least 15th level, it's over. Unless the creature is immune to stun. So you need to understand some things about what you're using. First off, you need to be cognizant of at least how many hit points a thing has. And that's kind of a metagame in itself. And you need to be cognizant of whether it can be stunned or not. And you need to be cognizant of how well its Constitution saving throws are. Now, I know that this essentially, if you stun something, that it's going to only remain stunned until it can make that first saving throw. And then there's a chance that it will be unstunned. And at this level, it's a pretty high chance. So there are ways to mitigate that, and we're going to talk about those too. I would say one of the best uses of this spell, because it is one action, is to ready your action to use this immediately after the creature's turn. Unless you've got certain members of your party that can do certain things, and then there is a different plan for this spell. So let's go over some pros and cons for this spell. A pro, it's verbal component only. So you can cast this all day. It doesn't cost anything. It's only verbal component. You are only going to get one 8th level slot. But if it's going to be a combat spell, this is probably one of the better ones. There is no saving throw. If it has 150 hit points or less, it's stunned. And then, of course, there's the stunned condition. And so some cons for this are that you have to be cognizant of what the hit points are. So it doesn't work if it's got 151 hit points or more. And that's a guessing game by players. It also allows a con save at the end of the creature's turn. So again, at this level where you're casting this spell, a lot of creatures are going to have very high con saving throws, and it is likely that they could get out of this. Now, you need to be cognizant of your DC to your spells. It should be around 20 at this point. Casting this spell at a creature who has legendary resistance, however, is a problem. And you don't want to do this until that legendary resistance is gone. Because you could try and modify their saving throw at the end of their turn, and then they just use legendary resistance and they pass instead. So you have to be cognizant, and you need to be cognizant of creatures that are immune to stun. Okay, so let's talk about stun a little bit, because that is an important, very important condition. So a stunned creature is incapacitated and can't move and can't speak, only falter, and can speak only falteringly. So let's go here. What does incapacitated mean? Because that means something. So if we go to the player's handbook and we go to conditions, incapacitated means a creature can't take actions or reactions. Okay? And it can't move, because a stunned creature can still move. It just can't take an action or reaction. Or an incapacitated creature can move. It just can't take actions or reactions. But a stunned creature, in addition to no actions or reactions, can't move either. The second bullet is probably the most important one. Automatically fails strength and dexterity saving throws. Okay? So at this point, you want to get out those things that will be subject to strength and dexterity saves. If you can get this spell off against something that's got a high strength saving throw that's not legendary, then you can go to town on it with all your strength stuff. And in addition, you got your dexterity stuff. So all that dexterity spell, saving throw stuff, fireballs, lightning bolts, all that stuff is usable now and will do max damage. Well, you're going to have the potential to do as much damage as you can. And then lastly, attack rolls against the creature have advantage. They're not crits because it's not helpless, but they have advantage. Okay? So a couple of ways to mitigate that saving throw, because remember, all you need to do is get this creature to the point where it is going to fail a couple of these, because remember, combats only last for 3 to 5 rounds, and if you can keep this spell going for 2-3 rounds with all the advantage and the failing dex saves and the failing strength saves, you're pretty much going to take it out. Okay, especially if it's got less than 150 hit points at this point, because that's a group of 15th level characters should be able to load out that much damage in a round. All right, Portent, out of the School of Divination for Wizards. Really important ability. And at this level, you're going to get 3 of those D20s, so you want low rolls. High rolls are okay on this, but that wizard wants low rolls, because you can use those to make and replace a saving throw checked by a creature by you or a creature that you can see with one of these foretelling rolls. So you just go, say I rolled a 2, a 5, and an 8. And here's your 5. And so you got to choose to do this before the roll, and you replace the roll once per turn. So they go to make their save at the end of their turn, and you go, here's your 5, you fail. Now they got to wait, they're stunned for another turn. Let me say this, you should have this stuff ready in case you are going right before the creature in initiative. If you go right before the creature in the initiative, you're going to stun them, and then they're going to get a saving throw at the end of their turn. So they'll skip a turn, but they may not be stunned anymore, so you need to be ready to get this going. Now, you can do the Portent once per turn, which is fine. That's perfectly fine, because it's only going to get 1 saving throw per round. So the next round, if you have another one, like remember I said I had a 2, a 5, and an 8, the next round it'll go, and I'll go, here's the 2. Now you can fail that one too. Okay, another class to consider, of course, is one of my favorites, the College of Eloquence Bard, who has the unsettling words. So if they're a bard at this level with bardic inspirations and you're 15th level, you're either going to have a D10 or a D12, and you can use your bonus action to give that as a subtraction to their saving throw. So on average, with that D12, you're going to be subtracting 6 or 7 off their saving throw. Usually that's enough to stop it. If you're a sorcerer, well, then wild magic is a thing that you can do. You can spend 2 points to apply a 1d4 as a penalty to a creature's saving throw. And you can do so after the creature rolls, but before any effects of the roll. So, and you can do this when they make a saving throw as your reaction. So that's once per round. Now, if we look at creatures, there are creatures probably, so there's 138 pages of creatures, and I've racked and stacked all these according to challenge rating. At page 132 on here, or CR 21, there are creatures on here who start to have less than 150 hit points. Now, we could look at the Lich, who has 135 hit points. The problem with the Lich is they have this. They have legendary resistance, so you got to be careful with that. But we could look at this guy here, Gargantua, who's got 388 hit points. So if you can get him down to 149 or 150, then they're going down. If we go, let's go one page back. A lot of these creatures are going to be, they're going to be legendary at this amount. But again, here's the Flesh Colossus. It's 280 hit points. You got to do 130 hit points, and then you can shut the combat off. The Gigant, 325. The Kolya Root, which I don't have that book. The Night Walker has 337. Pit Fiend, this is a good one. Doesn't have legendary resistance. It has magical resistance. Has 300 hit points. So if you can do 150, then you can stun it, and then that's pretty much all she wrote. Now, dragons are a different story. Like the Ancient Black Dragon has legendary resistance. You need to be cognizant of that. You need to let your party know that you've got this spell, and you need to match it up with things like the Wizard's Portent ability, or the Bard's Unsettling Words ability, or the Sorcerer's Bend Luck ability. All right, that is what I have for everybody today. I appreciate everybody tuning in, and I will catch everybody later.